Latest news, I'm April Cummings. Cayman's sole hospitalized COVID-19 patient has now been released from the hospital and is back at home. There are currently 3 active cases of COVID-19 in the islands. 2 are asymptomatic, 1 is symptomatic. Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee reports no new positives from the 564 results in since Tuesday. 64% of the estimated population is fully vaccinated now. 69% have had at least 1 dose of the 2-dose course. So far, 8 different variants of the virus that causes COVID-19 disease across 15 sequenced samples have been discovered in Cayman, thanks to the new genomic sequencing equipment at the Health Services Authority. Microbiologist Jonathan Smelly tells RadioCayman understanding the genetic code has been an essential tool in the COVID fight.
The only reason we could develop tests to test for it, develop the vaccine to immunize against it, is because we knew its genetic code. And so when it first appeared as just a kind of pneumonia-type illness in Wuhan, people worked really, really hard to get the sequence of it, and then they published it immediately. And that enabled the rest of the world to say, okay, we know what it is, we know what we're looking to test for, we know what we're looking to immunize against. So it's been really central to the entire global response to the pandemic.
Mr. Smelly says what the scientific community has done is nothing short of impressive.
A year later, we have vaccines, we have treatments, we have all this understanding and knowledge, and that's never happened. I mean, if you think about other epidemics and other pandemics, Ebola, HIV, still, right? HIV is an illness that's just kind of somewhat getting a treatment that allows you to remain stable, but there's no vaccine for it, right? And that's decades later. So it's a really, really impressive feat. It's really, quite unique.
The initial focus here is on identifying strains of COVID, which can inform public health and government decisions. But at the same time, this data will also help scientists everywhere to get an understanding of how the virus and its variants are moving across the globe. Reaction tonight from Premier the Honorable Wayne Panton after the assassination of Haiti's president. RadioCayman's Felicia Rankin-Solins reports.
Haitian President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated early Wednesday. His death has caused the country to descend into chaos, further agitating the political unrest and violence brewing amongst its people. The Honorable Premier Wayne Panton expressed dismay at the news of the armed attack, which took place in the Haitian president's home early this morning.
The entire incident is not only tragic, but it is extremely shocking. There is no room for violence in any democracy. Our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Haiti who have suffered so much already.
CARICOM has requested all members to fly flags at half-mast for 3 days, beginning today and again on the day of Mr. Moise's funeral. For RadioCayman News, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
Haiti's borders and international airport were closed and martial law imposed after Haiti's acting prime minister declared a state of siege. Tomorrow, the premier will be the keynote speaker at the Cayman Islands Chamber Legislative Luncheon. The sold-out event will be carried live right here on RadioCayman. It is scheduled to start around noon. Business leaders and the new Minister for Financial Services and Commerce meet up for the first time since the election. The Honorable Andre Ebanks, Chief Officer Dr. Dax Basteo, and Deputy Chief Officer Catherine Denspel-Powell met with the Chamber of Commerce Council recently. President Michael Gibbs and council members congratulated the minister on his appointment to a cabinet post and provided him with a brief overview of the chamber members' programs, services, community activities, as well as their advocacy agenda and action plan. A wide range of issues impacting the business community were raised during the discussions. The chamber says the group agreed to hold regular meetings in order to keep the channels of communication open and to collaborate when needed on key projects and initiatives. The Honorable Andre Ebanks is Minister not only for Financial Services and Commerce and Investment, he is also the Minister responsible for Innovation and Social Development. As we've reported here on RadioCayman, more than 30 aspiring Caymanian professionals gained some insights into the art of navigating business social events at a networking event organized by the Cayman Islands Government Office in the UK. Minister Ebanks tells CIG-TV it's a great opportunity to capitalize on the lockdown.
Since we are here, we might as well maximize our time, train our young people with little events like this that are outside of academia to give them a well-rounded edge so that by the time they go off to university and their professional careers, they're in great position and pace to deal with the challenges of the world.
Cabinet Secretary Mr. Samuel Rose says young people, even the most academically accomplished ones, now also have the requisite social and networking skills to enhance their personal and professional lives.
A lot of times we focus on the academic qualifications, we focus on experience in the job market, but then there's the intangibles, the soft skills of talking to people, starting conversations, engaging, and sometimes opportunities can pass us by because we simply don't know how to put ourselves out there. So here is a friendly and safe environment to give our young people some tips and pointers on how they can put themselves in a better position in the social environment to enhance their professional journeys.
The attendees included young professionals, 14 local coaches, a number of students who will be studying overseas starting this fall, and the 9 contestants vying for the Miss Cayman Islands Universe crown. The new online Register of Interest portal is now live, making for easier and secure submission and processing of forms. The Commission for Standards in Public Life says submissions of declarations to the Register of Interest for the period from July 1st, 2020 to the 30th of June, 2021 are due now, and submissions will be accepted until Friday, July 30th. Officials say an e-portal has been developed to replace the previous manual submission of forms. Officials say an e-portal has been developed to replace the previously used manual submission of forms in an effort to streamline the declaration submission process. The new portal utilizes a CIG-Net account, the login system featured in many other Cayman Islands government e-services. If you do not have a CIG-Net account, you can create one easily by visiting gov.ky/CIG-Net. There is a 2-step process, the declarant registration process, and the completion of the declaration information. Under the Standards in Public Life Act, persons in public life include members of Parliament, government companies, and commissions created under the Constitution, as well as various categories of public servants and members of governing bodies of statutory authorities. 2 new plant species are discovered in the Cayman Islands. RadioCayman's Carsley Fuller has more.
The latest Flickr magazine, published by the Department of Environment, includes an article by the Botanic Park's Nick Johnson. He says in November, Carla and Hannah Reed stumbled on a small tree neither had seen before while walking in the brack. It had yellow flowers, fine leathery leaflets, and tiny black spines on the new growth. While looking for other examples of this tree, the pair then spotted another unusual multi-stemmed spiny shrub. This plant also new to the family, so documentation began on it too. Research with the help of the team from the Botanic Park managed to get the plants identified down to the subfamily level, but no further, so pictures and information were sent overseas to the Royal Botanical Gardens in Kew. For the shrub, Mr. Johnson of the Botanic Park settled on Caesalpinia bahamensis. This species had previously been recorded in the Bahamas, Cuba, and Hispaniola, according to Plants of the World Online. As for the small tree with yellow flowers, it has been identified as Terra vesicaria, another species that is native to Cuba and Hispaniola, but has also been recorded on mainland Central America. 2 samples will be lodged with the National Herbarium of the Cayman Islands, currently located at the Department of Environment. 1 sample will be logged with Kew, where it will go into a library of samples of plants taken from all over the British overseas territories. The Botanic Park says visitors will soon be able to see these new additions to the flora. Seeds of both species have germinated in the nursery and are being grown for planting out in the gardens. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Carsley Fuller.
And that is your latest local news from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.